Sean Sheehan here with Ian Garry as he prepares for his fight this Friday against George McManus. Ian, you're just over in Manchester, just quarantining now. How's it all going?
Good, good, yeah. Flew over this morning, landed about 9 o'clock. Went and got some food with the boys, got a little bit of shopping just because we're obviously in isolation now until our results come back. So got COVID tested about 11:30, and me and Leon have been locked up in the room here since. So just trying to get by and wait till these results get back, and then see how take it as it goes from there, because it's all a bit mad, the restrictions here and the safety. So I'm sure like, what can we do? These are the rules in place. I mean, we'd all love to be out walking and just taking the piss, walking the streets and doing what we normally do, and just passing the time. But we're here to do a job, and at the end of the day, that's all that's going to be done on the weekend.
I suppose we were talking to you on the Zooms there. Oh, Jesus, probably 2 or 3 months ago at this stage, and we were kind of in the middle of it, then in the middle of the lockdown and everything. How's it been for you since? Because we were talking at the time, and we were talking about maybe it'll be hard to get preparations in, even if you have fights coming up. But then the gyms open up and stuff. How do you feel like your preparation has been? We'll get to maybe overall in a second, but for the fight itself, for maybe the last 10 weeks or whatever it has been.
Insane.
Yeah.
The work that we've put in over the last couple of weeks. At least what we could anyway for the time that we were able to.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. We all worked our asses off. The whole like group of lads that I was training with. Not obviously it wasn't a big group of lads,
Mm-hmm.
but the whole group that I was training with, the specific few, every single one of them came down, worked their asses off. Didn't take a day off because we know they knew I needed the training, and they wanted it just as much as I did, because we've all been kind of starved of a good training session, and COVID kind of ruined everything. So we all put the heads down, got like worked our asses hard, and now it's time for a bit of a wind down before the fight. But everything's been great, and over the last time I fought was 10 months ago, and just levels and levels and levels above where we are. So.
I was actually looking at that just before we started, and I was saying 10 months ago, and at the time I remember after was Cork the last fight it was, wasn't it? I
Yeah,
was
November, yeah.
yeah, I was talking to a couple of lads afterwards, and they were talking about your next year, and you're going to get 4 fights in, and the UFC will be knocking at the door. But maybe next time when the UFC come around, do you feel like, and obviously you would want to go like that, you wanted to go perfect like that. Do you feel like is there any bit of you that think it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise to give you more time to prepare, more time to get better as a fighter?
Yeah. No, you said it perfect there. Like that, my plan last or for this year was fight in May, fight in March, fight in May, fight June, fight September, and then see if there was anything October, November, December,
Mm-hmm.
and if there was, and see how the body was feeling, jump in, and potentially be 7-8-0, and be one of the most talked about fighters in Europe. That was my plan, and that is still my goal. However,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, as we've alluded to, fucking COVID kicked in and basically gave us all a roundhouse to the mouth, and said, "Hold on, I've got a different plan. Here you go."
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was just about learning and doing what I could in between the time to try get better. But yeah, I do think it's a blessing. Like, I'm only 22. I have no rush. Like, I see a lot of people rushing for title fights and claiming for title fights in Cage Warriors, and not even just in Cage Warriors, in other promotions where they're young in their career and they're saying they're the best, put me in and I'll prove it. And I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying I want the belt, but the only reason I would want that belt sooner rather than later is because I want to fight the best competition in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my aspect is I want to get that belt, and then I may have 4 or 5 fights as the champion,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll be fighting 4 and 5 of the best, of the number one kind of contender in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be fighting some average kind of Joe that has a record, like a wish-wash record of fights on different shows and wins. I'll be fighting lads who've consistently fought in Cage Warriors, put the hard work in. They're up there as some of the best fighters in Europe. Do you know what I mean? Especially in my weight division.
Mm-hmm.
And then string a couple wins together, test myself against them, get ready for the UFC, and then go in there and do the exact same when I step over to the bigger stage.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I do think it is a blessing in disguise, because that is exactly what would have happened. I would have went 4-5-0 next year or this year, and UFC be throwing every bleeding direction at me with my name. Oh, he's going to be in the UFC soon. So even the fact that I've had a couple of months to learn and to grow as a fighter and as a person, as a young man, it's been great. So just look, you've got to take everything in your stride, and none of us expected this. So the people who will improve over the lockdown will be the people who have shown how dedicated and how driven they are, and I'm one of them, and that's it. So I just gotta take my medicine with the whole kind of COVID thing, and then just get this fight out of the way, and then we look and see what's next after this fight.
I want to ask you just one more thing on that and getting to the UFC and all that. Like we've been talking about on the podcast at the weekend with the the whole Contender Series with people who are like literally like 3-0, 4-0, getting to the UFC, and the UFC like having more people who are not as experienced as maybe they would have been back in the day. Say like when the first brigade came in with Cahill and Connor and all of them, really experienced, and they were well able for the UFC when they got there. And same in America, same everywhere. Do you feel like, and who was it to kind of put that into your head? Was it Chris Fields, or did you come up with it yourself about like, I need to be prepared before I get to the UFC? There's no problem having 5 Cage Warriors title fights or 10 Cage Warrior fights overall, or whatever it might be. Once I get there, I want to be ready to get there.
I think that's both mine and Chris's. That's both of our mindsets. Is this is what Chris said to me before, because he knows that I'm like, I want to fight the best. Like I want to fight the best guys in Europe. Like I like, for example, like my opponent that I fought in Cork, Figlak, is fighting McManus, who's I think 7-1 now. He lost to Proctor in the last fight. I was saying if that was a fight that came my way, I would have happily said yeah to it. Now, obviously, it was a short notice opponent, and Figlak stepped in because his younger brother was fighting Oban Elliott that night, and it just made sense to kind of step back in. And I think he has a shot to win that. But like someone like that would be someone on my radar. Do you know what I mean? Someone at that level, they're the guys I look at. So like for me, when George's name was sent to me by Chris, I was like, no. And he was like, what do you mean no? I was like, I don't want to fight a guy that's 3-1. And he was like, why not? I was like, I want to fight someone better. He was like, no one else says fucking yeah, you tick. He was like, take the fight. It makes you go 4-0. It's more experience. He was like, you're gonna get there anyway. There's no rush. He was like, you're gonna get there. And this is where Chris kind of pumps the brakes a little bit with me, because he knows how far I'm gonna go, and he knows the hard work I'm putting in, and he knows where I want to be and what level I kind of hold myself at. That he is in charge. Like I've said this before, like it's my journey and all that, but like he's the captain of the ship. Do you know what I mean? If I want to go a direction, at the end of the day, it is my choice. But he's gonna steer it. He's gonna steer it as much as he can, and take the time. But no, he like we've talked about it before. Like we don't want to be like a last minute replacement where the UFC come going, oh look, we have a last minute fight opportunity. Can you take this? Like, and as much as I hate to use it as an example, like Reese, like stepping in against Kazma, who's a killer. Now, look, what should Reese have taken that? That's not my decision. Do you know what I mean? That was all up to him. Personally, if that was me, I don't know if I would have taken it, but you'll never know unless that's put in front of you. And that was his decision. And look, he's got a contract to the UFC now, and that's at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. Like, but like I want to fight. I want my performance to speak for themselves, and I want the UFC to come looking for me eventually when it does happen. So put all the hard work in, get the wins, keep winning, just keep learning, keep progressing the way the Cage Warriors machine does. They build you up slowly. They give you the right test. Ian and Graham run an amazing organization, and all the staff in Cage Warriors are just incredible at their jobs. So they know exactly what they're doing. I'm not there for his rodeo. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and they've had kids like me come in and be like, I want a title shot. Yeah, hold on a minute, kid. Get your fights. get your experience, right? Let's start building up a load of hype. Let's start seeing people seeing the undefeated prospects. Let's start seeing what you have to offer, and then we'll give you the right opponents at the right times. And I'm not arguing with any of them in regards to that. Like they do their jobs, like better than most organizations. That's why they've had so much success with getting fighters to the UFC. So, and like at the end of the day, that is their goal. Their goal is to bring fighters from Cage Warriors to the UFC, and I mean they're pretty damn good at it. So I can't argue with them. But yeah, I want to be ready so that when I get to the UFC, I know I can beat anyone. Like right now, I've said this before, and a lot of people think I'm a bit crazy saying this, but like Leon will back me up on this. He knows how good I am and stuff like this. But I think I can beat 75% of the lads in the UFC right now at welterweight and middleweight. The problem is that last 25%. Do I win some of them? Do I not? Do I get smashed? Do I not? Like I don't think I will. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to think that. But
here's the question I'll ask you, right? You're kind of talking about the medium term there, and we'll talk about the short term in a second, and George McManus again. But long term, right? You mentioned Hamzat there, and say Usman and stuff, the guys in your weight class. I remember like McGregor coming through, he was looking at Aldo. Chris Weidman coming through, he was looking at Anderson Silva. I know, and this is long term now. Are you looking at those guys and saying that's the level I need to reach? You look at Shimaev coming in, he's striking, he's knocking guys out, he's taking guys out, dominating them on the ground. Is that the guys you're looking at? Like, I need to be better than that.
Well, yeah, like they're the guys who are at the top level of the sport, so they're like the 25% I'm talking about. Like, I think you look at, like, for example, like you look at Usman, okay? Do I beat Usman right now? No. Could I cause Usman problems? Yeah. I definitely could. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying I'd beat him. I'm not saying I'd go in there and be a walk in the park. Obviously, it won't. So I mean, he's the best welterweight on the planet at the moment. So, but do I think I could win there and cause him problems? Absolutely. Do I think I could win there and cause problems for someone like Kobe Covington? Yeah, he's not going to walk through me. Do you know what I mean? I know how good I am. Now, this is again where people go, yeah, right, this kid's delusional. But like, you know what I mean? Yeah. There's only one way to know, and that's to come to the gym and train. And the lads have seen it, and like I know, so you know for a fact that I don't say this shit out of like me thinking I'm good. I know I'm good because I put in the hard work and I put the hours in. But they're the guys I'm talking about. Yes, exactly. I look at them and I say, right, they're the guys I need to kind of get my level to. So. Again, it's just a matter of time. Like I'm only in this game a short time, and what I've done already is impressive. So, and I'm delighted with my progression. So, that's all I can do. Like if I'm happy with how fast I'm learning, how fast I'm growing, and the fact that I'm still just jumping levels every time, every fight camp, every week by week, I'm getting better. So. It's just a matter of time, Sean, until I'm at that level where I go, yeah, I don't think anyone beats me.
So go on. What are you going to say?
I just at that level kind of in Europe now where I'm like, I don't like, yeah, I'm only 3-0, but I should be 4, 5, 6-0 with fights that haven't happened and stuff like that, and I should have a better record. But I'm at that level where I don't think there's anyone really. Like, especially around the Cage Warriors or the lads that aren't signed for the other big promotions around Europe. Like, I don't think there's anyone that can really beat me at the moment. And that's just, one, it's the way I have to think because I'm a fighter. But, like, if I don't think of who else is, you know what I mean? Leon's not going to fucking have my back there going, you beat everyone, bro. Yeah. And then I need to think it's the way I am. But, so, yeah, it's inevitable. It's just a case of time. Put the work in, get there, and then we'll see. And we'll look back at this then in a while and go, shit, he wasn't lying.
Yeah, that's true. First step, I suppose, is George McManus this weekend. And looking at him, you know, he's a guy, I suppose, a similar enough size to yourself, you know, big, very strong as well. A different, maybe, test than you've had before. What do you think when you look at him as a fighter matching up against yourself?
Great. What's he going to do?
Yeah, I know he's good takedowns. He's good on the ground. He's good jiu-jitsu.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. That's all I'll say. He tries to take me down. He's entering into a whole different ball game. Let him, if he wants to bring this to the ground, happily, any day of the week. I'm allowed to do what I want in this fight. This is the first fight I'm allowed to do what I want.
Yeah. Chris is letting you
So
off the. He's letting you off the chain, is he? He's letting you go and do whatever you want.
There's no. You have to do this. You have to do that. We have our little plan.
Mm-hmm.
We have what we do normally. We've worked on that. But at the end of the day, Chris said, "Just do what you want."
Mm-hmm.
He said he's seen the hard work that's been put in. He knows the level I'm at. So if this fight, like, if he wants to come out and strike me, great. If he wants to take it to the ground, great. If he wants to get into the clinch, great. I've told you this before. I don't consider myself a striker. I don't consider myself a grappler. I consider myself a mixed martial artist. Mm-hmm. I'm good everywhere. There's not anywhere I'm bad at. The only thing I'm bad at is not being bad. So I'm being good. That's about it. So like, I'm comfortable wherever this fight goes. And look, I'm gonna walk in there. I'm gonna try to dictate what happens. And me and him are going to meet in the middle. And don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting George. I'm not looking past him. I think he's a very good fighter, and he is dangerous. Mm-hmm. But I've worked my ass off to be confident that I'm going to go in here and win this fight. Just like he's sitting upstairs in a room somewhere, they're thinking the exact same thing. That's why fighting's fun. He thinks he's better than me. I think I'm better than him. We're going to find out on Friday night. Mm-hmm. And one of us is going to get a hand raised, and that's it. There's nothing else to it. Mm-hmm.
What's the mental state like, kind of coming from lockdown, coming back in here? You know, as anyone could see by your Instagram, and you're going around with your mother, you're always a bit off the chain and a bit loopy. Like, is the mental state like? Are you calm coming into this? Or are you just mad to get in there and throw a bit of hands, or what were you thinking?
I've been absolutely loving life lately. I've been literally, my days have consisted of training, mm-hmm. golfing, mm-hmm. cycling, eating and sleeping, and that's it. I'm just out. When I'm not training, I'm either golfing or cycling. If I'm not cycling, I'm probably golfing or training. And if I'm not doing any of them, I'm probably at home asleep, relaxing, ready, waiting for training tomorrow and waiting for the day ahead, because that's all I've been doing. I've just been so focused. Like all my mates have noticed it. Like I've gone off the map again, went off the radar, and just put my head down. That's what I kind of do. I go into ghost mode, as I call it. Mm-hmm. People don't see me for weeks. They don't hear it. They don't see a text from me. They just ghost mode. Just head down, put the work in, and just do what I need to do. This is my job at the end of the day. So a lot of people don't think about it like that. But like, I have to make weight, step in the cage, touch gloves, and do my job. Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you about the golf as well. You see Bryson DeChambeau winning last night, proving it's an athlete sport now more than anything else. Is that your next step afterwards? PGA?
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting pretty good. at this, Sean. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm I only started 10 weeks ago.
Was that all?
And I'm down. Yeah, 10 weeks ago. Yeah, I joined. The only reason I joined is because all my mates were joining. All my mates were playing. So there was like a group of 50 of them, like kind of playing. So they'd be going out like 2 and 3 balls out in Portmarnock or Donna Bay or Malahide, or going out in these lovely courses and playing golf for 2 hours and 4 hours in the sun. Mm-hmm. And we've been blessed. Like the weather we've been having in Ireland has been great over the lockdown. Yeah. So I was like, I'm probably going to hate golf. I was like, I don't think I'm going to like it at all. Mm-hmm. So decided to give it a go, and then was like, actually, I kind of like it. Started off pretty bad. Started on a 26 handicap. So basically had 26 extra shots to get them in, to get the ball in the hole on all the court, on all the 18 holes, and I'm like, that's pants. That's terrible. So I'm down now to 17. I'm down to 17 now. I came joint second in the biggest competition of the year there last week on the weekend, and I'm loving it. So I'm setting myself a little goal now. By next year, I want to reach single figures, and then if that happens, fuck it, I'll give it a go and I'll try to get down to scratch.
You could be next Cole Conrad. You could be gone from MMA. We'll never see you again. Be gone playing golf.
Never. Look, I do everything else. Everything else is a hobby. Do you know what I mean? Cycling is a hobby. Golfing's a hobby. This is what I love to do. So if I'm going to do anything, it's going to be this. Anything else is just something on the side to keep me going and keep me active. But no, like my life's been great. Like family's good. Everything's great. I'm gonna have to once we're done on this weekend. I'm gonna have to go home. I'm gonna get a COVID test done again then on Saturday. I'm gonna lock myself up in a room on Saturday and Sunday in a hotel somewhere because my dad is sick. Like, he's had a life sickness. We've talked about this before. So just to be sure about him, and then more importantly, my sister is currently pregnant, so she's due in October. So I don't want to meet my mom or and then maybe potentially have a percentage of a chance of carrying COVID back from the airport. And then passing it to her and then having something wrong with the baby and going, oh my God, you fucking idiot, Ian, what did you do? So I'm planning everything out for the, I'm planning everything out, but no, life's been great. Like, family's good, friends are all good, the team's rocking, the new gym's looking great. So look, there's absolutely no complaints in my life, and I'm just here now to have some fun and let loose.
Beautiful. Here, last thing I want to ask you. We always ask you this. You always have a bit of a prediction for me. What do you think? What way is it going to go here on Friday against George McManus? How are you going to finish him? Because I won't even bother asking you, do you think you'll finish him? Because I know you'll say yes. Well,
you know what? You know that's my goal anyways. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if I finish him in rounds 1, 2, 3. Like, I've said this. Like, people have been asking me. People know I like to make predictions, and I'm normally right. Like, I haven't been wrong yet once. I told you last time about the last finish, and I was how right was I?
Bang on.
I told you every step of the finish about to a T. Not like, oh, I think this is how it's gonna go. I said, this is how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
So I haven't fully decided yet how this is gonna go because there's so many avenues that this fight can go on how I want it to play out and how I assume he's going to want it to play out. Like, I'm assuming he's going to want to take it to the ground. I think if he tries to stand with me, he's a fucking idiot. And I don't think he's stupid. I think him and his team are smart and they seem well prepared. I hope they would be anyway. As I always say, I always want the best of my opponents to show up on the day, so there's no excuses. If, do you know what I mean? And I win and they're like, or when I win, and they're like, oh, look, I didn't feel the best. I was injured. I don't care. So I mean, don't fight that. So I know they're not going to be like that. They're nice lads. They seem to be like proper true martial artists. They get in, they keep their mouth shut, they do their jobs, and respect them. They took the fight when a lot of people didn't. So, you know, I'm always respectful of that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But no, once I get a finish, I'm happy. I don't care how it happens, but it all depends. I may be able to get him out there in 1 and I'll do it in 1, but I may just want to stay in there for 14 minutes and then finish him in the last minute because I'm having so much fun. Like, it's been 10 months since I've been in the ring. I don't know what to expect from myself, but I know it'll be the highest level you'll have seen me compete to, and ever, because I'm just a different level. So just looking for a bit of fun, to be honest, Sean. And just trying not to get hit, as always. I'm too pretty to get hit. These good looks have to stay around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right, Ian.
So,
thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Best luck on Friday. And best luck all week with all the team and everything like that. Ian Garry. Follow him on Twitter at Ian Garry MMA. You'll see it down there below. And watch his fight on Fight Pass on Friday night. Thanks, Ian.